So when you say what's it like, you get used to asking what could be some pretty embarrassing questions of your guests. And even though my guest and I work together here at KTAR, Katie Cosmas is part of the sales department, this is probably the toughest question I've ever had to ask any of our staff members or any of the guests that I've had. What's it like to lose a child? Tell us about Taylor.
Taylor is our angel. She was 5.5 months, and we found her after her nap, not breathing and unconscious.
What time of day was that?
It was about 11:30 on a Sunday, so it wasn't abnormal for her to take a 3-hour nap, and she just didn't wake up that day.
What was her health before that?
Perfectly healthy. She never even had a fever, or she's had little colds, but that was all.
And the doctors said?
They assumed that it was SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, and she was rushed to the hospital and wasn't pronounced dead until we were there. A day I'll obviously never ever forget, but it goes through my mind so clearly right now as if it was yesterday, and it's been 3 years.
We do these programs for them. We do these programs. Hopefully there is some therapy for our guests, and we hope they don't regret it. But because this is for the audience, you know what they want to know. What causes SIDS?
We don't know. Nobody knows.
Medicine doesn't know? Nobody
knows. They know risk factors. They know, and they make suggestions on ways to lower the risk. They claim that there are certain ethnicities or ages that are more likely, but Taylor didn't fall into any of those. She was, rolling over and healthy, and supposedly at a point where I thought she was out of the window, and she was not.
What is the window, the age window for sudden infant death syndrome?
Up to a year. I know of 8-month-olds, 11-month-olds, 10-week-olds, all across until 1-year-old.
How old is your son?
My son is 20 months. And his first birthday was a very exciting day for us to make it there.
Do you recall thinking specifically, dear God, please don't let it happen again?
Oh gosh, every day. I still do. I still go in and I just peek my head in his door just to hear him breathing. Unfortunately, he's a loud breather, so we thank God for small pleasures, small gifts. But yeah, every day. I mean, that first year of his life was extremely hard. We've spent 2 nights at PCH for random things, but yes, every day I thank God he's still here with me.
Think you're going to be a helicopter parent?
I hope not.
Well, I mean, we all concern ourselves about making sure that they understand you don't cross the street here, you cross it here. We all are concerned about every possible thing that could happen to our child. But you can't ever imagine it happening in a crib.
No. And I had heard about SIDS, and they make you watch the video after you have the baby, and you hear the things that you're supposed to do, but so few people actually know what you truly are supposed to do. In fact, I was in a mom's group where a nurse told me it was okay to give them a lovey at the age she was at, and when I found her, the lovey was on her face. And that 3 months until I got the autopsy, every day was torture, wondering whether or not she had suffocated because I gave her that lovey. And we do know now that she did not suffocate and that it was sudden infant death, but I always will wonder, if I hadn't given her that lovey, would she still be here?
Is a lovey like a blankie?
Yeah, one of those stuffed animal heads with a little blanket, just a little thing. And, she was a medical professional that I trusted and I believed. And while I knew not to do crib bumpers and to keep the house a certain temperature and to turn the fan on and not to smoke around a child, I was told that that was okay.
But that's the advice you would give to the moms that are watching right now.
Educate yourself, and not just yourself. I know children that have passed through under the care of their nannies or caregivers. Make sure you're educating them, because a lot of times they're different generations and the rules have changed.
Here's a couple of questions I wish I didn't have to ask you, but I'm going to. How long did you blame yourself?
Definitely that 3 months until I got the autopsy was the hardest. I still had moments afterwards where I'd go in and out of dark places. I don't blame myself anymore. I don't even blame the person that told me. That's the best she knew. But I always wonder if she would still be here if I had.
How did
done
it
something
affect your
different.
marriage?
It made us stronger. We were fortunate that way. You know, someone early on told us that 50% of marriages fail after the loss of a child, and I remember my husband saying that's not an option for us. And it was hard because we grieved so differently. I was ready to go back to work a little bit sooner than he was because I loved my job, and he wasn't a job that he liked. Okay, he has since left and went and followed his dream and opened a running store and has been very successful with that.
So now I have a question for you. What's it like to hug your child? Go find out. Tell him Pat McMahon said so.